Alright, so this is a new one. New for me anyway. Adjust this a little bit here. Alright, so it is it's Thursday. It is 7:28 a.m. on June 21st, 2018. And I feel a little anxious, nervous, unsettled, excited. I'm having flashbacks because everything's new, everything's different right now, and it's reminiscent of when we first moved to Texas and made that change to improve our lives. I remember getting up early in the morning and the first couple of days driving to Boardwalk when I first started, and the excitement of knowing that I was in Texas, the smell of the air, just the feel was so different from the Midwest, from where we were coming from, and everything about it just had an effect on all of my senses, and it was one of the most exciting times in my life. And we decided several months back we were going to start doing some things, making some changes to take the next step in our lives, and this is part of it. And it's been a process. I have to admit, I've been a little stressed out and anxious the last couple of months. Transition periods are they're unsettling, and you just got to keep your mind focused on the desired outcome, where you're planning on ending up, and work through all of those adjustments. And this is no different. So I left my job in property management after 6.5 years in March. It's now June, so I've had the rest of March, April, and May, and most of June, where I've really focused on making these steps. A big part of it was to have time to finish writing my book, and I had really hoped that my Joe Vitale book was in print. It was based on the timeline they originally gave us. We should have had them at the beginning part of the year, so I thought back in March, when I gave my notice, that it was imminent. It was any day we should have those books. And now here we are in June, and I still don't have it. And that was a big part of this next step. It was a marketing tool. It was going to be used to push me into this new arena that I want to be performing in. And finishing my book was part of it. Getting the house ready for sale was part of it. A big part of it was selling the house and cashing out the equity to be able to live off of, when, in the absence of that salary that I was no longer having. And that's been trying. The house did not sell as quickly as we wanted it to. It didn't even go on the market as quickly as I wanted to. So I had planned out and budgeted out and made arrangements to cover a gap of time which I thought would be sufficient to get to the point of closing, to get the cash out from our equity to be able to carry me to the next step. Well, sometimes things don't work out as you plan, so that has added some extreme stress to my life the last month or so, because we're at the point now, we've been living on credit for a month now, and I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to get through June without defaulting on some of our obligations. And not a permanent default, but just we were going to start missing payments. We were going to start becoming late. And I made some arrangements at the beginning of June, end of May, to get us through June, and for the most part it was a success. We've been able to get through the month without really defaulting on anything, without being late. We still have more than a week left, but we're going to get through June and into July. We've had 2 offers on the house. They've both terminated after the inspections, and that really caused us a lot of stress, because the first time I wasn't expecting it. I've never sold a house before, and I don't do sales. I've been in real estate for nearly 7 years, and but I don't do sales, so the idea of a contract terminating just didn't even factor into my calculations. I was super excited when we got an offer on the second day it was on the market, and I was like, great, everything's rolling along as it should. And then all of a sudden, you know, the contract terminated, and it was like a punch in the gut. It was like, all right, now what do I do now? I wasn't expecting that. And that's life. You're going to get those punches to the gut every once in a while that you weren't expecting. It's no matter how much you plan and prepare, but it's, you know, it's an old cliche. It's been a philosophical standpoint for as long as man's been in existence. I'm sure that it's how you respond, how you react after taking a hit like that. So. We recouped, we rebounded, we got the house back on the market and got another offer, and like, see, no problem, under control, and that one terminated. And then that one was like, the impact of that was even more so than the first one, because now, again, I wasn't expecting the first one, but I definitely wasn't expecting the second one. So I ended up getting myself so stressed out that I got sick. I became physically ill, fever. I mean, stress is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, and it basically negated my immune system as far as I'm concerned. And I picked up some kind of bug, or it was able to take hold. I don't know exactly what and how that all worked out, but I got sick, and it took me several days, and I got over it. But then I got a second round of it, and I felt like I had righted myself, got myself in a better mental position, but I got sick again, and it might even just been a second phase of the same bug. I don't know, but I just recently, within the last several days, have started to feel myself again. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot of time here, because I am sitting here in a parking lot in downtown San Antonio, right across the street from the apartment complex we are planning on moving into, and I'm several blocks from the Esquire Tavern, where I now work. Today is my first day. It is 7:35. My shift starts at 8. It's about a 10-minute walk. So that was, and you know, something else. I when we got into June, I made some arrangements to get us through June. I was like, I'm going to need to have some income coming in. So I made arrangements to start showing properties, and that did not pan out right away. I made those arrangements, and nothing happened with it within the first week or so, and that was upsetting. I'm going to close these the rest of the way. We're getting more traffic in here. So I started to panic a little bit. I'm like, all right, well, my backup plan was, if I have to, I'll get a restaurant job. And part of me wanted to, and I've been scouting out classifieds, Craigslist, and keeping my eye out for a restaurant that had some character, that I had been to, or that I was at least familiar with their menu and their system, their setup, something that, you know, had some kind of draw. And the Esquire was one of them. So there were several places that popped up, and I was like, maybe I'll go apply there. And there was one day where I got dressed up, and I got ready to go, and for some reason or another, it didn't work out that day. Something distracted me. I got sidetracked. It didn't work out, and I did not go apply at that place. And I was starting to question my will to move forward and take that step if necessary. And I was really wondering, is it necessary? Well, you know, what can be done to move this forward? The bottom line is, until the house sold, we needed some more money coming in to extend our, you know, length of time before we started to default on things. So it comes right down to it is, this thing for Esquire popped up, and I was like, I'm gonna apply. And the first day I was like, oh, today's not a good day, I'm not gonna make it today. The second day I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. And I got dressed up, and I drove downtown, and my bearings were off that day, and I took the wrong exit. And I've been down here dozens of times, and I got turned around and ended up driving around downtown. I ended up finding the lot that I was looking for, and it was full, and I couldn't get in. And then I ended up just turning around and going home. And but then I came down the next day, and I applied and interviewed and came back the next day and interviewed, and I got the job. So it took some of the stress off of me, and but it's all new. I mean, it's all, we're making steps to this new life, and it's kind of scary, but it's exciting at the same time. And again, it's reminiscent of when we first moved here, because this is completely different. The atmosphere downtown we really like, and we really want to live down here. Now I'm working downtown, and I'm sitting right across the street from the place we're going to live downtown, and we have another contract on the house, and it's looking more and more every day like it's going to go through. There's been interaction between our agent and their agent, and a confirmation of the desire from both sides to see this through. So nothing's set in stone, but it's looking like that's going to happen, and that's fantastic. It's exciting, and it's going to lead to the next step. I sat down yesterday and I wrote chapter 26 of my book, which there's only 27 chapter titles, so I'm one chapter away from completing my rough draft of my first book. That's almost mind-blowing to me. It's so exciting to know that I almost 2 years ago I set out on this path to write this book, and I'm almost finished with it. Again, it has to be, I mean, it's a rough draft, so I have to go through and edit some things and rewrite some things and add some information to some chapters, but for the most part the book is complete with the exception of the tweaking. So it's a great spot to be in. I feel really good about it. Again, I'm a little nervous about first day back to work. I haven't applied for a job in obviously nearly 7 years, and I haven't worked in a kitchen in nearly 7 years, and I'm excited about going in and doing this because I love it, and not because I need to. And again, it's that mindset that you have when you take a job, when you go to work. Is it because you want to do it, or is it because you feel like you have to do it? And if you can alter your perception to the I want to do it because this is what I love, this is what I enjoy, and it's exciting to me, and it's not motivated by like I have to have a paycheck, I have to have this much money per hour, I need to take home this much money per week, and you're motivated by those other factors, then you've got the flexibility, the freedom to embrace and love and enjoy what you're doing, and that's where I'm at right now, and I hope that I can maintain that. But living day-to-day life, you can get sidetracked, you can take those hits, you can have factors that roll in that change your perception and change your motivation. But right now everything's looking good. I'm excited. It's 20 till. I'm gonna start heading down. Like I said, I got about a 10-minute walk. They said that somebody will be there about 8 o'clock. I wanted to be there before they get there, so I'm gonna head down, and thumbs up, fingers crossed. I feel good, and this is exciting. Not to mention, we have been cloudy, dreary, and rainy for nearly a week, and it is a beautiful blue sky this morning. Temperatures are upper 70s. It's a beautiful morning. So on top of all of that, the dark dreariness of the last couple of weeks seems to have broken, at least for the morning, and it's a beautiful day, and that in respect to what we've been experiencing is refreshing. So everything is looking good for us moving forward, for me moving forward, and for me just being happy with life.